Hey, what's going on guys? HyperX here, and today we're going to be checking out the new Sony Xperia 5 Mark II. Some of you guys might remember a little while ago, I think it was like a month or so ago, give or take. I mean, time passes too fast these days. I don't even remember. The point is, not too long ago, I checked out the Sony Xperia 1 Mark II. Now we're checking out the 5 Mark II. I don't quite know why it jumped from 1 to 5. Anyway, that aside, checking this out because Sony very kindly sent it to me. I recently did some videos with them for their kind of gaming masterclass series. So, you know, if you kind of picked up the phone early, they did some sort of helpful tutorial videos and I spoke about some stuff in the gaming aspect. So yes, they did send this over to me. But today I basically wanted to do something very similar to what I did last time, which was just talk about the phone from a gaming point of view. This isn't going to be a full-blown phone tech review because there are people far more qualified than me to talk about phone stuff and phone specs, but I will of course quickly gloss over that. But basically, today I just want to talk about this as a gaming device because, as I mentioned before, you know, mobile gaming is getting more and more kind of respected, should I say. You know, back in the day, they're like, yeah, you play like Farmville and whatever. Not to say that I'm not judging anyone for playing Farmville, but nowadays, given that you've got games like Genshin Impact running incredibly well on the phone, and I know a lot of people are playing Genshin Impact, and if you play on PC, you can cross-save between that and phone. So, I mean, you can be sitting in the evening in your bed and just be like, I'm going to do a couple more quests. So, with that in mind, then sometimes people might be like, what phones are good to play games on? And this is definitely one of them. So, if you guys do enjoy this, then a like would be super appreciated. Any questions, drop them down below. But let's talk about some of the most important things. So, top level, one of the main new things about the 5 Mark II is obviously that it's taken all the great gaming features of the 1 Mark II, only this time it has put it into a more condensed package, but it's not just shrinking it down. I mean, it's still a, you know, relatively similar sized phone, but it's not just shrinking it down. It's also got some really nice new features in it. So as like a very quick kind of like spec summary, just so you guys know what's under the hood, this has the Snapdragon 865 processor, which is one of the best for gaming, for like mobile gaming, and that sees a 25% performance increase from the previous model. It still has the nice 3.5mm audio jack, so you can plug in regular headphones. It has a 4000 mAh battery for plenty of, you know, longevity in life and whatnot. You've also got the really nice ultra-wide 21:9 full HD screen, which I mentioned before is really nice because if you're using like the touch for your games, that wider display allows you to kind of still have your hand on the screen without it taking up too much real estate, so that is definitely nice. This one also has 120Hz refresh rate, 240Hz touch response, and also an inbuilt heating mechanism to further reduce the the heat build up for long play sessions. So you can clearly see that one of the core pillars, of course, when they built this phone was definitely with gaming in mind. Talking a little bit more about some of the other kind of gaming feature stuff, you've got the, I mentioned the 120Hz refresh rate. If you pair that with the fact the phone also has 240Hz motion blur reduction, that basically helps, any of that sort of fast moving content render more clearly, so you do actually get a nice crisp picture on your phone. There's also 240Hz touch response, which is actually 4 times higher than the 1 Mark II, so you get even more precision if you're using the touchscreen controls on the phone. Of course, don't forget you can just still hook up a Bluetooth controller. If you want to put a PlayStation controller on and just put it in the mount, that is obviously an option, but for those of you that want the touchscreen experience, then you do still have that. Now, if you saw my last video, you'll know that I already spoke about the kind of game enhancer menu, which is, the way I described it is like a hub for all your games. Anytime you install stuff, it goes inside this menu, and it's really cool because it allows you to basically tailor your games based on what you're doing. So you can change settings on a game-by-game basis. You can do things like limit the notifications that will show up when you're playing games. You can change the settings on a per-game basis. You can use this thing to take screenshots, to record videos, even to live stream. So you can live stream directly from the phone. It's got high-quality audio, so if you want to, put yourself picture-in-picture, you can record that. It's even got the ability to kind of balance all your different audio levels independently. So if you want to, have your mic, but then drop down the audio for the game and stuff like that, so it all sort of balances out, you can do all of that. And there's also a new feature for this one. They've basically given you even more custom control, where again, on a per game basis, you can affect things like the screen refresh rate, the touch tracking, the touch response speed. So basically you can sort of fine tune the performance for your individual game. So, if there's something you really care about, like Genshin Impact or Call of Duty Mobile, you might be like, let me give that the best settings. Meanwhile, if you're playing something like, I don't know, a card game or something, you don't need to worry too much about refresh rate and stuff like that, then you might drop it down. Either way, lots of stuff to choose from. You also have the search functionality, so if you do get stuck in the game, you can just type search, and again, especially if you are playing Genshin Impact, you might want to hit that up and then you can swipe over and check out some videos. And you have the HS power control, which was present in the previous one, where if you plug the charger in and you select the option, it allows you to play with your phone plugged in without like going through the battery, so you can basically bypass it to A, keep the phone cooler, and B, prolong the battery's life. So overall, it is a really nice phone for, for gaming on. If obviously mobile gaming is your thing. Completely get it, not everybody wants to do that, but as I said before, with mobile games getting, infinitely better and infinitely kind of grander in scale, and some of them genuinely actually being good games and not just being like a microtransaction filled hellhole, then the need to kind of play games on phones does definitely kind of become more prevalent. So if you were looking for a device that potentially could be a nice gaming system, then this is it's for sure one. I mean, it's also a good phone outside of that. It's got plenty of nice camera functions. It's got a really nice camera. I'm not going to speak too much about that because that's not really the purpose of what I'm doing today, but it has a very nice camera. That's basically what you want your phone for, right? I take photos on my phone, I play games on my phone occasionally, and I check Twitter and Instagram. That's basically what I use it for, and this is good at all those things. So yeah, that's just a quick look. It wasn't a review, it's just kind of a little sort of overview of some of the features, some of the stuff, and how it functions as a gaming device. So that is the Sony Xperia 5 Mark II. Massive shout out to Sony for very kindly sending it to me. And of course, as always, if you guys got questions, let me know in the comments down below. But keep it locked for plenty more gaming videos. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget, if you haven't already done so, you can join the HyperX Gaming Discord. We've got an awesome community over there with so many different channels for you to chat loads of different topics and different games. I'm in there, the team's in there. If you guys want to chat with us, find people to play with, it's just in general a great place to be. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to turn on those notifications so you don't miss any of our future uploads.